Good evening. It is Saturday, and tonight we're going to read James 3, and it starts off titled Taming the Tongue. Not many of you should become teachers, my brothers, for you know that we who teach will be judged with greater strictness. For we all stumble in many ways, and if anyone does not stumble in what he says, he is a perfect man, also able to bridle his whole body. If we put bits into the mouths of horses so that they obey us, we guide their whole bodies as well. Look at the ships also. Though they are so large and are driven by strong winds, they are guided by a very small rudder wherever the will of the pilot directs. So also the tongue is a small member, yet it boasts of great things. How great a forest is set ablaze by such a small fire! And the tongue is a fire, a world of unrighteousness. The tongue is set among our members, staining the whole body, setting on fire the entire course of life, and set on fire by hell. For every kind of beast and bird, of reptile and sea creature can be tamed and has been tamed by mankind. But no human being can tame the tongue. It is a restless evil full of deadly poison. With it we bless our Lord and Father, and with it we curse people who are made in the likeness of God. From the same mouth comes blessing and cursing. My brothers, these things ought not to be so. Does not a spring pour forth from the same opening? Let me reread that. Does a spring pour forth from the same opening both fresh and salt water? Can a fig tree, my brothers, bear olives, or a grapevine produce figs? Neither can a salt pond yield fresh water. And then the next section is titled Wisdom from Above. Who is wise and understanding among you? By his good conduct let him show his works in the meekness of wisdom. But if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth. This is not the wisdom that comes down from above, but is earthly, unspiritual, demonic. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. But the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere. And a harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. Now that's all of chapter 3. I do want to talk to y'all a little bit. I think I told y'all earlier in the week that several of us friends decided that we were going to fast for a week. Each of us prayed about it and let the Lord lead us in what we were going to fast. One of my friends, is fasting, coffee and soft drinks. And another one is fasting salt because that's one of her things. I chose, because I felt like this was what the Lord wanted me to do, I chose sweets and I chose soft drinks. Because both of those things, I get involved in them way too often. It's real easy if I go to the Dollar General especially to pick up a few things. It's real easy for me to go down that candy aisle and pick up a bag of chocolate-covered peanuts or chocolate-covered bridge mix or salt caramel peanuts or M&M's, something like that. And usually when I do that, I pick up a Sprite or a Sunkissed Orange, which are my two favorite things. There's nothing wrong with eating and drinking either one of those things. But I have let them get a hold of me to the point that I want them all the time. So I knew I needed to make myself realize that I didn't have to have them. I'm not required to have those things. And if I was doing it once every couple of weeks, it's not a big deal. But if I'm going 2 or 3 days a week and picking them up, it's not good for me. So those were the two really foods, sweets and soft drinks. I've been drinking water, and then yesterday I got a little carton of apple juice, mixed orange and apple and pear juice, because I felt like I needed a little something different besides water. But it's not a soft drink. And then I also two other things that I wanted to do was to stay away from anything on television. I do a lot of streaming. I don't watch like regular television. Excuse me. But pretty much everything I watch is on streaming, and so I can, watch a dozen episodes of Downton Abbey in a row if I want to, or I can any kind of show that I can get to, I can just watch it, and nothing wrong with that either, as long as it's not getting in the way of other things. So I made my mind up that I wasn't going to watch anything that was distracting. I'll just put it that way. So I've pretty much been watching The Chosen and listening to a lot of Christian radio, which is probably what I should be doing more of, or watching Christian videos on YouTube, listening to like Cliff, I don't know how you say his last name, it starts with a K, but he debates young people on not really debates, he evangelizes on college campuses. And I enjoy listening to him because he's very respectful to the people that he's talking to. He doesn't ever try to say that they're wrong and he's right. He meets them where they are, and he tells them the truth in a way that he's not saying I'm right. He's saying the Bible is right. So I enjoy watching him, and I enjoy watching Charlie Kirk. And of course, I was real upset when he got shot the other day. That's been a little bit on my mind. But I've also tried to avoid chaos on social media, Facebook especially. So, and I use Facebook for my business, not just to be social, but I use it for business. I keep up with my customers, some of my customers, and I keep up with my kids and grandkids that way, and friends and stuff, church stuff, things like that. But I really get caught up sometimes in drama, and so this week I prayed about it, and I've been on social media, but it's been real funny because I will see a post and I will start reading it, and I don't just read the post. I read the post and then I have to look at comments. Well, then I get down in the comments and I want to say something, and I'll start writing, and the Lord will say, no, you got to can't do that. So about 90% of what, and I'm not being ugly, I'm just arguing. I'm just about not going to be rude to somebody, even if they're rude to me. I'm going to do my best to behave, but the Lord has said, no, you're not even going to start. You just you can't say that. So I will get a real nice reply typed out, and I just have to back it off and go on to something else. That has been more of a wake up than anything else I have learned in this fast. We'll get through Monday morning at 6 o'clock because we chose to do a week. And I have heard so much from so many different people. One of my friends, I think she was fasting from bread. I think that was the way I understood it, because we didn't necessarily tell each other what we were fasting from. We were just talking to encourage one another. And she said, she was reading something in the Bible, and she said, I got convicted because I was sitting there wanting bread. I think that was how she said it. And but we learn when we fast. Jesus tells us some things can only come about by prayer and fasting. Well, if you're not fasting, you're not teaching your body that Jesus is the boss. Your flesh is not the boss. So those chocolate-covered peanuts that I love so much, they're not hurting me. But if I'm more worried about them than I am doing right by somebody or showing Jesus to somebody, then they are hurting me. And that's where the thing comes in. And so I have learned a lot. And I will tell you, I hate fasting. I hate fasting because I learned stuff about myself, really, that I didn't want to know, and I learned, excuse me, I learned what I don't need to be doing, and that's, I'm 67 years old. You would think by now I would know how to behave, and I'm not saying that I don't, but sometimes I forget. So I hate fasting, but I know it's good for me, and I know that I've got to start doing this more. And so we all had things we were praying for. I'm not going to mention anybody's prayer list because it's nobody's business but them and God. Of course, we were all praying for our church. That's, you pray for your church and your pastor and family and your church family, and which we're doing that anyway. But it's amazing what you'll learn if you just do a little fast. Just decide that and that's the thing. If you decide you're going to fast to try to get closer to God, something is going to happen to try you. And I'll be honest, Charlie Kirk getting assassinated this week, that was one of the things that happened that because I keep wanting to comment on people's posts about it. I keep wanting to comment, and I can't say anything because I'm wanting to argue, and that won't do anybody any good. It's not going to further the cause of Christ, and so I'm having to be real careful, and I'm hoping I'm learning from that. I hope. I'll probably have to do it a bunch more times because I have a thick skull. But anyway, thank y'all for joining me. I'm glad, and it's funny that in chapter 3 John talks about taming the tongue, and that's exactly where most of us get ourselves in trouble, is we say things we shouldn't, or we don't say things we should. So I think it's real appropriate that we're reading, or that I'm reading James now. I hope y'all are getting something out of it. But anyway, thank y'all again for joining me. I hope you're planning on getting up and going to church tomorrow and fellowshipping with your church family. If you don't have a church family, don't have one that you go to regularly, I would love to see you come join me, or there are lots of other good Bible teaching, Bible believing churches, and that's what you need to be looking for more than denomination. Don't get caught up in the denomination so much as whether they teach the truth, or whether they water it down, or whether they change it to meet social standards. I'll just put it that way. We're supposed to love everybody, and that's what we're supposed to do, and that's what Jesus asked us to do. But love people enough to tell them the truth. Tell it in love, but tell them the truth. But anyway, thank y'all for joining me, and y'all get up and go to church tomorrow, and have a good day, and I will see y'all Monday. What are you grumping about?